what begins to happen in the life of every individual is that we are manipulated by the enemy to allow our gift to be expressed in a way that is negative when it was really created positive. You see, Jeremiah 1:5, and I'm hurrying here, says this: before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before you came out of your mother's womb, I sanctified me. See, I was created in the will of my heavenly Father before I was captured in the loins of my earthly father. Lacey, they missed it. Back that thing up. I said I was created in the will of my heavenly Father before I was captured in the loins of my earthly father and conceived in the womb of my earthly mother. Before you was a fetus in your mother's belly, God had already had intentions of you in his mind, that this is what I want my child to be, and this is how I want my child to act. Look at your neighbor and say, God knew you. God knew who you were going to be, and he gave you a gift and made you in positivity and perfection. You don't believe me? Psalm 139:14 says it like this. Somebody gonna shout when I say this one. I will praise thee. Why? For I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I want you to look your neighbor square in the eye and say, neighbor, excuse me, I'm not arrogant. I just got assurance that God don't make no junk. I ain't got no help up in here. I was fearfully and wonderfully made when he made me, which means God sat down at the table and he took his time making Lacey. Y'all ain't talking. He took his time making Brittany. He took his time making Yolanda. And if God took his time making me, you got to take your time with me. They missed it over here. Let me talk to y'all. I want you to look at somebody and say, neighbor, you can't rush this process. Baby, I am under construction, and whatever you don't like about me, you got to put up with it until God get tired of it. And guess what? God ain't tired yet. He been putting up with me since day one. Come on, somebody, talk to me up in here. Don't you get upset when Negroes know you one day and don't like you, and God known you 31 years, and he been there the whole time. Look at your neighbor and say, now who you think gonna win between you and God? When God never left me and he had good reason, you gave up on me for no. Lacey, you can't get no help in here on today. He says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So that means that when he made me in perfection. He made me as a flawless creation. There were no flaws in my gift when he made me. The problem was when he made me, he had to make the transition from creation to conception. When he makes the transition from creation to conception, he has to take me out of the hands of a perfect God and put me in the hands of imperfect parents. Oh, God ain't gonna get no help in here on the day. See, when he made me in his mind, he had a perfect conception of me, but then he placed me in the hands of people who were imperfect. We ain't judging nobody. All of us have made mistakes with our children as parents. David says it like this, that when I was born and shapen in iniquity, which means that I was put in the hands of sinful parents, and they taught me their sins, even though they didn't know they were teaching me. Because some stuff is caught and not taught. Y'all ain't talking. There are some things your children are catching from you that you're not teaching them, but they see you do it. And so now he has moved me from conception in his mind into conception in my mother's belly. And so now I've been taken, Sarah, out of the hands of a perfect God, and I've been placed in the hands of an imperfect parent who does not really know how to treat me the way I was created to be treated. Oh, I ain't gonna get no help up in here. See, what's wrong with some of us, let's be real in here on today, what's wrong with some of us is that from birth to now, we have been introduced to people that didn't know how to handle the greatness that was in us. We had friends that didn't realize what kind of friend they had. Oh, I wish I had. We dated folk that didn't realize what kind of woman or man that they were hooked up with. But I want you to look at your neighbor real quick and just say, neighbor, they about to miss me after a while. As a matter of fact, there's some of them missing me right now. They may try to act like everything all good, but they know they let go of a diamond when they lost me. I ain't got no kind of help up in here. Would you just act like you know you got it together real quick and give God a praise for everybody that overlooks you to release you and the folk that will appreciate you?